Hello everyone. This video would focus on sine law or the law of sines, and this is the first part. In this part, we're going to solve for the missing side. Before we go over these two examples we have right here, let's have the definition for the sine law or the law of sines. Please remember that sine law or the law of sines is the relationship between the sides and angles of a non-right triangles, which we call as oblique triangles. This law states that the ratio of the length of a side of a triangle to the sine of the angle opposite or across from that side is the same for all sides and angles in a given triangle. To better understand this, let's look at the picture right here. Looking at this picture here, our angles are labeled A, B, and C in big letters. And the sides are labeled A, B, and C in small letters. Please remember that these letters are variables, which means that in some triangles, it doesn't have to be A, B, and C. It can be any letter in the alphabet. But what we remember is the main concept of the sine law or the law of sines, which can be written this way. So if we have here our side A, so I'm going to write side A. So the numerator is the side, small letter A. The denominator of this side A is the sine of the angle across from it. So I'm going to go ahead and write that as sine of angle A. Again, these are variables. It doesn't have to be A and A. It can be any letter in the alphabet. This is actually equal to, we can have the B here. So side B over the sine of the angle across from it, which is sine of angle B. That is also equal to C, that's side C right there, over the sine of the angle across from it, which is angle C. This is what we call as the law of sine or the sine law. We can also rewrite this equation that we have right here this way. Again, this equation that we have right here is called the law of sine or the sine law. Okay, so let's go over these problems here. So let's start with the first one. We're supposed to solve for side X. Based on the law of sine or sine law, we can go ahead and partner these two up, the X and 47 degrees and the 15 and 64 degrees. So that we can go ahead and set up the equation as X. We write the side first. That's the missing side, X over the sine of the angle across from it. So that would be sine 47. So I'm going to write sine 47 right there. That is equal to the 15. It partners up with 64. So that would come out 15 over sine of again, that is 64. So I'm going to write sine 64 right here. So then from here, we can go ahead and solve for X. We can cross multiply these two together. So the X and the sine of 64 will be cross multiplied. And these two shall be cross multiplied as well. So we can solve for X. So that we can go ahead and rewrite this as first partners that we have here. So that would be X times sine of, that's 64, is equal to 15 times, that's going to be sine of 47. So that is sine of 47. Now we are going to solve for X here. So what are we going to do is we can divide both sides by sine 64. It should be on both sides so that we can get rid of the sine 64, and so we're left with X. So this would be divided by sine 64 as well, so that we can cross the sine 64 and sine 64 out. And so we are left with X on the left side. And we are going to use calculator to determine the value for this. So please remember that before you do the math here, please make sure that your calculator is set to degrees. So how do we do that? So if you are using the blue calculator here, you go ahead and press this button right here. Be sure that the highlighted one is degrees, not any of these two. Or if you are using the yellow calculator or the TI-84, you are going to hit mode and then make sure that the degree is the one that is highlighted. So if it's in radian, then the value will not be correct. So that we can go ahead and set this up here. So what we do, if we use the blue calculator, that would be 15 times, that's gonna be sine 47, close parentheses, equals, and that's gonna be divided by sine of 64. We get this value. That's gonna be 12.21, rounded off to 2 decimal places. So this would come out 12.21. So this is the value of our x right here. At this time, I would encourage you to pause this video and try this problem out on your own. And when you're done, unpause it and check your answer. Okay, so we go over the problem here. Again, based on the law of sine or sine law, we're supposed to come up with 2 ratios. So we can partner up this 40 with that of 55. So I can go ahead and write that's going to be 40 over sine of the angle across from it. So that would be sine of 55 is equal to, that's going to be x right here, over the sine of this missing angle here. Now, others are going to say, oh, but the angle here is missing. We don't know what it is. So we can label this as angle y right here. We remember that the sum of all the angles in a triangle should be 180. So we got 113 and we got 55. We're looking for y here. So I'm going to show the work up here. So that's going to be 180 is actually equal to, that's gonna be first 113 plus 55 plus y. So we're solving for y. So we add these two together. So that would be 180 is equal to 168 plus y. So we're going to subtract 168 from both sides. So minus 168 minus 168. So we are left with y is actually equal to 12 degrees. So this angle that we have here is actually 12 degrees. So I can label this as 12 degrees. Again, I got this from the main concept in geometry that the sum of all the angles in a triangle should always be 180 degrees. So that's the one that we use here and not the 113, because 113 is not across the x. So this would be sine of 12. So I'm going to write 12 right there. So then we go ahead and cross multiply these two together. So I'm going to cross multiply the x and the sine 55. And then this 40 and sine of 12, so that this would come out. Okay, after we did the math, our x value is 10.15. Did you get the same answers as this? Good. Perfect. If you find this video helpful, hit like and subscribe for more math videos. See ya!